In today's video, I want to talk about what platform you should pick between Meta ads and TikTok ads to actually grow your e-commerce business. And so we spend a lot of money every single month on platforms like Meta, TikTok, and Google for all our e-commerce clients to actually try and help them scale their business. And so in today's video, I want to break down, some of the similarities, some of the differences, and try and give you some general guidelines to help you make a better decision of whether you should go with either Meta ads or TikTok ads. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rasmus. I'm the owner of Minix, a performance marketing agency where we help e-commerce brands scale their business through UGC videos and paid advertising. So let's dive straight into it and look at some of the similarities between Meta ads and TikTok ads. And there's really two main things I'm going to be focusing on in terms of similarities. First is that they're both push marketing platforms, and second is that they're both very content heavy and very content driven ad platforms. So push marketing, what I mean by that? Well, I mean that both Meta and TikTok uses something called user intent to try and determine what people to actually show your ads to. So to give you a little bit of perspective, Google, for example, would be considered a pull marketing platform because Google determines what users to show your ads based on their searches in real time and actually try and solve their needs, based on what they're looking for, what they're searching for on Google in real time. And what Meta and TikTok do is they use user intent to figure out what ads to show which users, and that intent is something they get from all the data points they have on all their users, and they get that through all the websites that their users are visiting. So let's just take an example, right? If you're in the market for a jacket, let's say you're looking for a winter jacket, right? You would probably go on Google and search for winter jacket, and there you would be shown ads, right? That would be the pull marketing. But you would also visit a couple different websites to see, what's out there, what's available, and those two pixels will then feed back that data and those data points to Meta and TikTok, and then Meta and TikTok would know, okay, this person over here is looking for a winter jacket. Let's serve that person more ads around jackets and winter jackets and maybe ski gear, etc., right? But the key difference between Meta and TikTok and then Google is that you never actively searched for a winter jacket. They just pushed those ads to you. So that's the push marketing. The second thing is content. Both platforms are very content heavy, very content driven. If you didn't know, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video comparing Facebook to Google ads. And one of the points I made was that if you're a brand that has a very hard time, that struggles a lot with generating content, either through influencers, hiring a videographer, photographer, you can get content a lot of different ways, right? But if you're someone that struggles with that, Google would be an excellent platform for you because you can just run search ads and call it a day. But that's not an option if you're picking between TikTok or Meta. On both of these platforms, you're basically forced to show some sort of creative. Now, and that can differ, and that's something we're gonna get into a little bit later. But that is one of the things they have in common. Unlike a platform like Google, you are forced to show some sort of content. But with that being said, that's these similarities out of the way. Let's get into the differences here. So there's really three main differences I wanna be focusing on when we talk like broad picture. First is pricing, then we have stability, and then we have content. So in terms of pricing, they both actually work the same way. They're based on a CPM pricing model, which means that you essentially bid on each individual impression and then you get charged based on how many impressions you're getting. Now, naturally, when you have this sort of environment, the more people who are bidding for each individual impression, the higher the price is gonna be. And so right now, Meta has more than 10 million advertisers, which is why one of the key differences here and why people might choose TikTok over Meta is because the prices on Meta is so high. But since TikTok is a relatively new platform, the competition just isn't as big and there's not as many advertisers to bid for the same eyeballs. Therefore, their pricing is just way lower. So on Meta, for example, to give you, a point of reference, it's not unlikely to have a CPM between $20 and $30. And for some clients, we've even seen it go up to above 50. On TikTok though, it's like a completely different story. What happened on TikTok was that their user base grew so fast that the advertisers couldn't really follow up, so there weren't enough advertisers, not enough ad spend being spent on the platform compared to the user base. So right now we run TikTok ads for a couple clients. It's not unnatural for us to see CPMs between $1 and $3, and really you can get a CPM below $10 without much effort, even with like not good creatives. So what this basically just means is that on TikTok you can reach far more people for the same dollar. So if you're spending 10 grand a month, you'll be reaching 5 to 10 times the amount of people on TikTok that you would on Facebook. Now, just as a little caveat to that, it is definitely changing right now. I saw a Twitter post recently, a couple weeks ago, where someone outlined the CPM changes year over year on Meta and on TikTok, and actually showed that TikTok CPM has been increasing around 15% in 2022, whereas Meta's CPMs have actually decreased around 15% in 2022. So this basically just shows that more and more advertisers are jumping onto TikTok and are actually leaving Meta, which might, create an environment where there's a lot of untapped opportunity on Meta. But as of now, in end of February or start of March 2023, TikTok ads and TikTok CPMs are incredibly cheap compared to Meta, but it is rising and advertisers are starting to capitalize more and more on the cheap CPMs because it just makes sense, right? If you can reach 5 to 10 times the amount of people for the same ad spend, even though stability might not be the best on TikTok compared to Meta, you can still make up for it quite easily just from the sheer volume of users you're gonna reach. But let's jump into the second difference here, stability. And so just to outline, so we're on the same page here, when I say stability, what I mean is that what is the chance that the results I got today will be the same tomorrow? Can I expect those results to be the same? And the chances on each individual platform varies a lot. So there's a thing called ad fatigue. And if you haven't heard of it before, ad fatigue basically just means that whatever creative you're running on the platform right now, that will eventually at some point in the future start to decrease in performance because too many people have just seen it too many times. So basically what you've done is that you've exhausted the amount of money that you could be making with this one creative. And that thing right there, ad fatigue, is something TikTok struggles with a lot compared to Meta. To be quite frank, the lifetime duration you can run an ad on TikTok is like not much more than a week to 2 max. And as you're spending more and more on TikTok, obviously that lifetime duration you can run a creative for and still be profitable, that will decrease, right? And that's a very stark contrast compared to Meta, where we have some clients, like they can run ads and creatives for up to like 3 months at a time and still have great performance. So this is something that TikTok seems to be struggling with a lot. And therefore the stability on TikTok is just not the same as it is on Meta. The reason why ad fatigue seems to be a much bigger problem on TikTok than Meta, I'm not like 100% sure, I'm not an engineer at TikTok or Meta, but I'm assuming it could be because some of the data points, they just don't have enough data on each user to actually be better at doing the actual targeting. And so therefore they're just gonna run into issues a lot quicker than a platform like Meta will, because Meta's been around for, like their ad platform has been around for like more than 10 years, whereas TikTok has only been around for 2 or 3. So naturally the data points that Meta is gonna have and the AI they can build out just in that sheer amount of time, right? And that massive time difference is gonna be between the two ad platforms. Meta will just have such a much bigger advantage over TikTok. And so I think that's one of the main issues as to why TikTok see a much quicker ad fatigue and a much smaller lifetime duration on their creatives. But with that being said though, I do think that TikTok will tackle these issues as they just get more years under their belt and they can train their machines and AIs to be better at figuring out what users to actually serve ads to. And then lastly, let's just talk content, because that's a massive difference between these two platforms. Fact of the matter is that Meta has a lot more options when it comes to figuring out and picking what creative you want to run. On TikTok, you basically just have one option, that's video. On Meta, you can decide between video, an image, a carousel, a collection. Like there's a bunch of different formats you can pick on Meta, and you also have a lot more placements. On TikTok, you mainly just have the TikTok feed. You have, Meta feed, Instagram Reels, stories, and the list basically just goes on and on. On Meta, you have in total 24 different placements you can pick from, whereas on TikTok, you only have one. So that's a massive difference, right? So obviously having that variety and having the ability to pick between different ad formats on Meta, that can be a massive advantage. But I will also say having only one option on TikTok, which is videos, and usually that would be UGC or user generated content style videos, you can kind of compare it to running a business, and you'll probably get a lot farther by just having one focus in the business versus having 20 different focus points and spreading your attention so thin that you actually won't get anything done and actually won't go anywhere. So here's the $1 million question, right? Meta or TikTok ads? Which one should you pick for your business? So to answer the question, my personal preference would actually be Meta, but there is some caveats to that. I will say that getting good at making TikToks is something that every single brand should focus on, and is something they should get really good at to figure out what sort of UGC style video actually works for your brand and what actually resonates with your audience. So even though I would prefer to run Meta ads, I would actually run the ads with UGC style videos that I would make as TikToks because they perform super well. The only thing that really pushes me to prefer Meta over TikTok right now is just the stability issues. Even though you pay more in CPM prices on Meta than you do on TikTok, the stability for me is what I would be looking for as an e-commerce brand, choosing between the two. I will say though, where TikTok can come in handy is that you can test creatives very quickly, and you can get a lot of reach, and you can even go viral on TikTok. And then you can basically just use the TikTok organic post to kind of validate if your creatives are good or not, because you can't really do that on a platform like, or with Instagram Reels really. You won't really go viral to the same degree that you will on TikTok. So I would for sure still use TikTok organic to try and validate the creatives before I'm gonna be spending money on them, just to kind of see, okay, what resonates well with my audience. But with that being said, that sums up today's video. I hope you found some real value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And then I will see you in the next video. Bye.